All this week, we've been talking about how being filled with the Holy Spirit is really the only way to live a victorious Christian life. There are two requirements for being filled with the Spirit. The first is that you must voluntarily yield the control of your life to the Spirit of God. For the Holy Spirit will not control what you're in control of. So he waits for you to voluntarily yield yourself to him and to ask him to control you. The second requirement is that after you have asked him to do it, you must believe that he has done what he has promised. It is the second requirement that I had to learn the hard way. The first time that I know that I was filled with the Holy Spirit, I just had this amazing feeling that God was so near and so close to me. I had this overflowing joy. I was full of peace, and I had this boldness that I wanted to tell everybody about Jesus. And those feelings lasted for about 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden they were gone. I didn't know what had happened. So for the next several weeks, I struggled trying my best to live for God, but I failed miserably. Then finally, in desperation, I cried out to God again, and I said, "Oh, God, please just fill me with your Spirit again." And then I waited to feel this closeness to God. I waited for the joy to come back and for this boldness and peace, and it didn't happen. And so because I didn't feel like God had filled me with His Spirit, I didn't believe that He had. You see, the mistake that I was making was that I was basing my faith on what I was feeling rather than on what God had promised that He would do. You see, in Ephesians 5:18, the Bible tells us that God commands us to let Him continuously fill us with His Spirit. If He commands it, it must be His will. 1 John 5:14 says, "This is the confidence that we have in Him. If we ask anything according to His will, we can know that He hears us." So God's will is to fill you with His Spirit. So if you yield yourself to Him and then you ask Him to do it, He promises that He will. So yield yourself to God, ask Him to fill you with His Spirit, and then whether you feel it or not, believe that He has done it and begin to thank Him by faith that He has filled you as He promised, and that the next step you take will be in the power of the Holy Spirit.